Hey Cancer, how are you doing? Welcome to your third week of October Love / General reading. We are finishing up Libra season. And this week we actually go into Scorpio season, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So the deck that I'm using today, this week, is actually the Ostara Tarot. That's O-S-T-A-R-A. I'm going to take these three cards because they flipped over. I'm going to take these and put them back. So it's actually really interesting. You're getting a lot of cards that showed up in the previous readings. I believe the Ace of Cups and the Hanged Man were in the Aries reading. Three of Swords, Ten of Swords, and the Fool reversed were in the Taurus reading. And I think that's it. So maybe if you want to go look at the Taurus reading or maybe the Aries reading, I would recommend that if you're dealing with one of those people. But going into your reading with this overall card, the Queen of Cups, you're very much in your own element. And I feel like a lot of you guys may have gone from a sort of Queen of Swords to Queen of Cups. I especially see with this Five of Cups here that you probably went through a period where you were sort of hurt by someone with this Three of Swords, Five of Cups. I definitely am getting that you were hurt, and that sort of made you close off emotionally for a little bit. But now you're sort of coming back into your energy with the Queen of Cups, because the Queen of Cups talks about water signs, talks about Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So I feel like definitely now you're feeling like you're yourself again. I feel like in the past you were really hurt and distraught, and that kind of made you act and feel differently with this Hanged Man. But I'm feeling there were two Hanged Man moments. You had the moment where you sort of got thrown out of whack and all of your systems were different, but now you're coming back into this point where you feel like yourself again, and that's great. I definitely salute you for, having an open heart, because it's really hard to have your heart on your sleeve, because with this Three of Swords, it's easy to get hurt when you're so open and honest with how you feel. But, 1, 2, 3 of those cards, I'm getting past energy. I'm getting that you in the past. And what it might be that with the 3 and 10 of Swords, is that you've been hurt, and now you're sort of at a point where you're like, you know what, I was hurt. I spilled over 3 cups with the 5 of Cups. But also with the 5 of Cups, I have 2 cups that are left over. And worst case scenario, I can take some from those 2 cups and fill up the other 3 cups until I can get more. And with this Ace of Cups, like these little mouse people in the card right here at the Ace of Cups, it's hard to tell with this deck sometimes, but they're pouring into those cups, and into that cup, I should say, and that cup is overfilling, and that's how I feel like you're feeling with your other 3 cups that have spilled over right now. And like, it's important to know that there's 2 people in that card, so it could be that you're meeting someone else, and like somebody else is sort of helping you fill those cups. Definitely, I would recommend, like, don't rely on someone else for your happiness, but that's not to say that somebody can't help you. You know, you cannot, like, it's not to say that you can't be happy that someone else is in your life, or that someone else is like supporting you or being happy with you. Just try to achieve your own independent happiness. But I feel like with this King of Wands, that's where you're at. I feel like with the King of Wands, you're definitely at a point where you guys are sort of becoming your own muse, I should say. I feel like you guys have the loyalty, and you're expecting the loyalty in return. And that's how the King of Wands operates. The King of Wands is a very loving and trusting person, but to the people that are important to him, to his loved ones. And I feel like since you've got the Queen of Cups and Pentacles, first of all, I'm getting strong Capricorn vibes from this Queen because of that big black goat. But there's also the bull there, and there's also, like, there's a lot of cattle there. It looks like a bull and a cow, maybe. And then there's also a young girl there, which could symbolize Virgo. So you have Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, and all symbolized in that Queen of Pentacles. So I feel like that's how you're seeing yourself right now, is that you're very stable. Not just physically, but also emotionally. You've reached a point where you're happy with your finances and emotions, and you're sort of becoming more fierce in the sense that you're, you know, expecting people to come at you the right way. And I feel like that's amazing. That's awesome for you. I love that for you guys. And just like, the only thing that I'm seeing like of concern right here is the Fool card. So I said this in the Taurus reading, but like, it could mean one of 2 things. It could be either that you're finishing off some kind of situation, but you're sort of getting pulled back into it. Or it could be that you guys are sort of finishing a situation, but going back to your old habits. And I would definitely recommend that if you're going back, that if you're going to start a new situation, definitely apply your knowledge and what you've learned. It's easy to start falling back into your own habits, but I feel like with the 7 of Wands, you've identified what's important to you. You've identified that you need to sort of value yourself and set boundaries, perhaps a lot more like fiercely than in the past, or like more emphasis on that than you did in the past, because Cancers are really sweet and loving people, but you guys have the tendency to be over giving and over protective of other people and oversharing, and unfortunately some people just don't have as big of a heart as you and will take advantage of that. And I feel like right now you're at a point where you're like, no, I need to be equally as caring for myself as I am for other people. And I don't think there's any shame in that, and it's definitely not being selfish. So it's something that you need to do in order to maintain yourself, because you are just as important as everyone else. And I feel like with this Magician card, you're really finding a way to do that. You're really at a point where you're taking all of the things that you've learned in the recent past and you're applying them. And I feel like this week in particular, you might feel like, wow, My life is really like you're gonna take all the things that you've learned, and you're sort of gonna see like, hey, this situation I can do this, and this other situation I can do that, like over the course of this week, and you're really gonna see how those things work out for you. So I should point out that I was looking at the clock just now, and I saw 10:10, like the timer on my video, and I've seen 10:10 for I think like Aries and Gemini. So I feel like you guys are really at a point where you're super intuitive, super like, if you look around and notice things, you're gonna start seeing these synchronicities. So definitely a good reading. I think all in all, you guys have been hurt in the past, but you're definitely learning from it. You're definitely becoming, like, I don't want to say a better person, but you're learning from the situations in your past, and you're actively working to make your life better, which I think is fantastic. So, Cancers, that was your reading for the third week of October. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, please consider leaving a like or a comment or even subscribing. And with that, I hope to see you guys next week for your next weekly reading of October.